Namo Buddhaya. Have you ever felt like you're holding on too tightly to things in your life, whether it's anger, sadness, or even the people around you? You're not alone. Letting go is one of the hardest yet most essential skills for living a peaceful, balanced life. But what if I told you that the solution to your suffering lies not in controlling the world around you, but in mastering your reaction to it? In this video, we'll explore the profound Buddhist teachings on how to let go, so you can find the inner peace you've been searching for. The first step to letting go is recognizing a universal truth. The world around us is out of our control. We cannot dictate the actions of other people, the situations we face, or the opinions people form about us. This may sound unsettling at first, but understanding this truth is liberating. What remains in our control is our reaction to these uncontrollable factors. The Buddha taught that all suffering originates from clinging, our attachment to things we cannot control, such as people, possessions, and even emotions like anger and sadness. Letting go of control isn't about surrendering or becoming passive. It's about understanding that grasping onto things only brings more pain. Think about a time when you were angry or frustrated with someone. Did holding on to that anger make you feel better, or did it prolong your suffering? In reality, holding on tight is like carrying a heavy burden that weighs you down. The more we attempt to control, the more frustrated we become. Learning to let go frees us from this burden and opens up space for peace and clarity in our lives. Our minds naturally cling to people, experiences, and things because they provide us a sense of stability or comfort, even when they are not good for us. This attachment is what Buddhism refers to as upadana. It explains why we often find it difficult to let go of anger, sadness, or toxic relationships. The mind continually ruminates on these experiences, and we struggle to break free from this cycle. Buddha's teachings show that this attachment is the root cause of suffering, and the key to happiness is to let go. Think about it. How many times have we held on to bad situations, thinking that we could fix them, only to realize that the more we held on, the more we suffered? Imagine holding on to a burning coal, believing that holding it longer will somehow cool it down. The truth is, the longer we cling, the more we get burned. This metaphor is central to Buddhist teachings on suffering, and once you understand it, letting go feels less like a loss and more like an act of self-compassion. Anger is a powerful emotion that many of us struggle with. We often think that by holding on to anger, we are somehow protecting ourselves. But the reality is quite the opposite. Buddha compared holding on to anger to holding a red-hot iron ball in your palm. The longer you hold on to it, the more it hurts you, not the other person. If you learn to let go, you free yourself from this unnecessary suffering. I remember a time when I had a falling out with a close friend. My anger consumed me for weeks, and I couldn't think of anything else. I kept replaying the situation in my head, hoping that I could somehow change the outcome by thinking about it over and over. Eventually, I realized that holding on to my anger was only making me miserable, not my friend. When I decided to let go, I felt a tremendous sense of relief. The situation didn't change, but my perspective did, and that made all the difference. Another key teaching of Buddhism is impermanence. Everything in this world, people, situations, emotions, are temporary. Nothing lasts forever, not even our problems. This can be both comforting and challenging to accept. When we realize that all things, both good and bad, will eventually pass, we learn to approach life with a lighter heart. Clinging to things that are impermanent only prolongs our suffering. Personal perspective. Why accepting impermanence brings peace. 60% personal opinion. This idea of impermanence is a game changer. Once you understand that nothing is permanent, not your joys, not your sorrows, you begin to approach life with a new sense of calm. Take the example of relationships. We've all experienced the pain of losing someone we care about, whether through a breakup or even death. But accepting that everything has its time allows us to cherish the present without fearing the inevitable change. Think about the beautiful moments in your life, like a vacation or a special celebration. These moments pass, and we often feel a sense of sadness when they are over. But if we can embrace the truth of impermanence, we can learn to enjoy these experiences fully without the pain of attachment when they end. The same applies to difficult situations. Just as good moments pass, so do bad ones. I remember a particularly challenging time in my career when nothing seemed to go right. I felt trapped in a cycle of stress and worry. But one day I had an epiphany. This too shall pass. I started to view my stress as something temporary, and that simple shift in mindset changed everything. I found myself feeling lighter, more optimistic, and more capable of handling the challenges ahead. The lesson of letting go is not just about relinquishing control over people or situations. It's about freeing yourself from the mental and emotional burdens that weigh you down. By understanding the impermanence of life and choosing not to cling to things, we create space for peace, joy, and personal growth. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by anger, sadness, or frustration, remember, you have the power to let go. And in that act of letting go, you will find freedom. In summary, the teachings of Buddhism offer us a powerful framework for navigating life's ups and downs. By accepting that the world is out of our control and embracing the impermanent nature of all things, we can cultivate a deep sense of peace within ourselves. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about gaining something far greater, inner peace. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be struggling to let go. Let's spread this life-changing wisdom together. Buddhaya. Imagine waking up every morning with a sense of calm and purpose. What if 3 simple practices could transform your entire day, filling you with energy, clarity, and peace? Today, we're diving into just that. A journey through Buddhist wisdom that offers a practical guide to starting your day on the right foot. These aren't complex rituals. They're simple steps that can shift your mindset, energize your spirit, and help you face life's challenges with a newfound strength. Let's get started with the first transformative practice. Gratitude. Gratitude, a small practice with huge rewards. Gratitude is not just a fleeting thought, but a deep practice of appreciating life, no matter how challenging it may be. Most of us have days where we feel down, unappreciated, or even hopeless. But when we take a moment to pause and reflect, we realize that life's experiences, both good and bad, are valuable. Every morning, as soon as you wake up, practice gratitude by reflecting on the gift of life itself. Feel thankful for the opportunity to experience another day, to breathe, to exist. This can be as simple as saying, "I am grateful for this day," or "I am thankful for the lessons life has taught me." But it doesn't stop there. Gratitude should extend to those around you. Consider the people who have entered your life, the kind souls who have uplifted you, and the difficult ones who, although challenging, have helped you grow. Everyone plays a part in your journey, and being grateful for them, no matter who they are, brings a sense of peace and completeness. Personal insight on gratitude. In my own life, I have seen how transformative gratitude can be. There was a time when I focused too much on the negative, what I didn't have, who wronged me, what wasn't going right. It was exhausting and draining. Then a mentor suggested that I start every morning with gratitude. At first, it felt unnatural, but over time, I noticed subtle yet powerful changes. I felt lighter, more capable of handling stress, and even attracted more positivity into my life. This practice of focusing on the good in life gave me the strength to handle the bad with more grace. Mindfulness. Grounding yourself in the present. The second practice is mindfulness. Often, our minds are scattered, thinking about the past or worrying about the future. But mindfulness invites us to return to the present moment. And here's the beautiful part. It doesn't require a formal setting or lengthy meditation. You can practice mindfulness in everyday activities. As you walk, become aware of your steps. Feel the ground beneath your feet. When you eat, focus on the taste and texture of the food. Even while breathing, become aware of the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. Mindfulness is about tuning into the present moment and experiencing life as it is happening right now. A real-life example of mindfulness. There's a well-known Zen story about a monk who was asked, "What is Zen?" He replied, "When hungry, eat. When tired, sleep." The simplicity of the answer strikes at the heart of mindfulness, being fully present in whatever you're doing. I once struggled with always planning ahead or revisiting past mistakes, which robbed me of the joy in the present. But after integrating mindfulness into my daily routine, I found a deeper connection to my surroundings and my inner self. Positive self-talk. Your inner voice shapes your reality. Lastly, let's talk about positive self-talk. Many of us have a harsh inner critic, constantly pointing out our flaws or reminding us of our failures. Over time, these negative thoughts shape how we see ourselves. Instead, we need to develop the habit of speaking kindly to ourselves. When we start replacing negative thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," with affirmations like, "I am capable," we slowly reshape our entire mindset. A simple exercise is to take a few moments each day to say something encouraging to yourself. It could be as small as, "I am worthy of love and success," or "I have the power to achieve my goals." This may feel awkward at first, but the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. And soon, you'll notice the shift in your confidence and overall outlook on life. Why positive self-talk matters. A few years ago, I encountered a difficult period when I doubted everything I was doing. It felt like I wasn't making any progress in life. A friend introduced me to the idea of positive self-talk, and although skeptical, I gave it a try. Day by day, I repeated simple affirmations like, "I am strong," and "I can handle this." Slowly but surely, I saw how this daily practice empowered me. My mind became less of an enemy and more of a supportive guide, helping me through tough times. Let's explore specific situations where these three practices, gratitude, mindfulness, and positive self-talk, can bring profound benefits. Morning routine. Start your day by practicing gratitude. As you wake up, reflect on three things you're grateful for. They could be as simple as the sunshine, the comfort of your bed, or the people in your life. Next, as you go about your morning tasks, whether it's brushing your teeth, preparing breakfast, or commuting to work, practice mindfulness. Focus on each task without letting your mind wander. This keeps you grounded and sets a calm tone for the day. Dealing with stress. When stressful situations arise, like a tight deadline at work or an argument with a loved one, use positive self-talk to reassure yourself. Instead of succumbing to negative thoughts, remind yourself of your strengths and that you are capable of handling the challenge. Pair this with mindfulness. Pause, take deep breaths, and center yourself before responding. Ending the day with reflection. At the end of the day, take 5 minutes to reflect on what went well and what you can improve on. Practice gratitude by appreciating the day's small victories, no matter how minor. This reflection not only boosts your mood, but helps you sleep peacefully, knowing you've taken stock of the positives in your life. These 3 simple yet powerful practices, gratitude, mindfulness, and positive self-talk, can truly change your life. They may seem small, but when practiced consistently, they lead to a more positive, peaceful, and productive day. Starting your morning with gratitude, staying mindful throughout the day, and ending with positive self-talk creates a strong foundation for success. As you move forward, try incorporating these practices into your routine. Even if it's just one at a time, you'll notice the difference it makes in how you approach life. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but with persistence, the rewards are profound. By adopting these 3 practices, you'll find yourself more grounded, optimistic, and capable of navigating life's ups and downs. The small steps you take each day to foster gratitude, mindfulness, and positivity will accumulate into a life filled with energy, clarity, and joy. Namo Buddhaya. Have you ever wondered why relationships often become difficult despite the love between 2 people? What if the key to happiness isn't about changing others, but about understanding the deeper truths of human interaction? In this video, we'll explore 6 secrets based on Buddhist wisdom that can help you build a more peaceful, fulfilling relationship. These principles will give you the tools to make every relationship, whether with your partner, friends, or family, not just functional, but full of love, kindness, and trust. Let's dive into these teachings from the Buddha that can transform how you approach every connection in your life. Maintaining a happy relationship is challenging because of the differences between people. Relationships struggle when we expect others to think, act, or behave the same way as us. The truth is, we are all different, and once we accept this reality, we can develop better understanding and compassion for one another. 1. Practice physical kindness. Buddha teaches that kindness should first be expressed physically. Often, we think grand gestures are needed to show love, but it's the small, everyday acts that build a strong foundation in relationships. Imagine a husband and wife where both share the workload equally, perhaps helping each other with household chores, or simply taking a moment to assist the other without being asked. It's these little acts of bodily kindness that show appreciation and create mutual respect. Physical kindness isn't about how much you can give, but how present you are in supporting your partner's well-being. In my experience, physical gestures of kindness are often underrated. Many of us get caught up in life's busyness and forget that it's not always the grand vacations or expensive gifts that make relationships thrive. It's the day-to-day care we show. Helping a friend move or making your partner's coffee in the morning can communicate love far more than words ever could. One real-life example comes from a couple I know who have been married for 30 years. The husband told me, "It's not the big things that keep us together. It's the fact that she folds my clothes just the way I like them." Small acts of kindness build a sense of security. 2. Practice verbal kindness. Words are incredibly powerful, and Buddha emphasizes the importance of speaking kindly. When we use gentle, caring words, we create an environment of trust and positivity. A single kind word can make someone's day brighter, while a harsh word can leave lasting scars. I've noticed that we often underestimate the impact of our words. One time, I was in a restaurant and overheard a couple at a neighboring table. The woman said something as simple as, "I really appreciate how hard you work for our family." And I could immediately see how her words uplifted her partner. It made me reflect on how much kindness costs. Nothing at all, and yet its effects are priceless. We should remind ourselves to consciously speak kind words, even when it's tempting to snap or criticize. Remember, kind words build and harsh ones destroy. 3. Practice mental kindness. Buddha said that our thoughts lead to our actions. If we want to be kind in action and words, we must start with our minds. By cultivating kind thoughts, we naturally spread that kindness to others in everything we do. In our modern world, where stress is high and social media often highlights negativity, it's crucial to be mindful of our inner dialogue. I once had a friend who struggled with self-doubt and negativity. It wasn't until she started practicing gratitude and thinking positive thoughts that her relationships improved. She became kinder to herself, and that kindness radiated to others. I often practice mindfulness to check my inner thoughts, ensuring I nurture kindness and compassion internally so that my actions and words align. 4. Share without reservation. Sharing is a vital aspect of any relationship. Buddha taught monks to share everything they received with their community, creating unity. In relationships, sharing experiences, joys, and even challenges fosters deeper connections. It's not just about material sharing, but about sharing moments, stories, and dreams. I recall a story about a couple who made it a habit to share the highlights of their day with each other, no matter how small. It brought them closer because they were always involved in each other's lives. Sharing is like weaving a thread of connection that gets stronger with each stitch. When we share, we show our partner or friend that we trust them and value their presence in our life. 5. Be virtuous. Virtue is the foundation of trust in relationships. In Buddhism, following the 5 precepts, non-harming, not stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct, honesty, and avoiding intoxication, ensures a life of moral integrity. For relationships, this boils down to being trustworthy, loyal, and honest. Trust is the bedrock of any relationship, whether romantic or platonic. I once knew a couple that struggled with infidelity issues early on in their marriage. After they rebuilt their trust through counseling and a commitment to honesty, their bond became stronger than before. The key takeaway here is that loyalty builds a deep sense of security, which is vital for long-lasting relationships. 6. Share a common goal. Finally, Buddha teaches that a relationship must have a shared purpose. In the case of monks, it's spiritual enlightenment. For couples, friends, or families, this might mean working toward a common goal, whether it's building a home, raising children, or supporting each other's dreams. When both partners work together towards a shared vision, the relationship thrives. Think about couples who run a business together, or families who save for a shared goal, like traveling or building a house. This common purpose keeps everyone focused and moving in the same direction, reducing conflicts. In my own life, I once saw an inspiring example of a couple who started a small bakery together. Their shared goal wasn't just about making a profit, but about spreading love and joy through their food. They poured their hearts into every pastry they made, and that shared vision united them even through the toughest days. All relationships face challenges, but the ones that last are built on mutual respect, kindness, and shared goals. If you integrate these 6 Buddhist principles into your life, you'll see a remarkable shift in your relationships. Remember, it's the daily acts of kindness, trust, and a shared purpose that will help you navigate even the hardest times. As the quote goes, "All relationships go through bad times, but the real ones get through bad times together." By applying these teachings, you will cultivate love, compassion, and understanding, allowing your relationships to flourish. Namo Buddhaya. Are you feeling lonely? That emptiness? That sense that nobody cares? What if I told you that loneliness could actually be your greatest opportunity for personal growth? Today, let's uncover how to turn the pain of loneliness into the peaceful state of solitude, using timeless Buddhist wisdom. Loneliness is a universal experience, and for many of us it comes when we least expect it. Whether it's after a breakup, losing a loved one, or simply when the friends who were once close drift away, suddenly we're left with a void. This void, often filled with sadness or even despair, can feel unbearable. But why do we feel lonely in the first place? The answer lies in how we relate to others. We often tie our happiness to the presence of others, depending on them for joy, support, and validation. When they're gone, we lose the very source of our happiness. We hand over the keys to our emotional well-being, and when people walk away, it feels like we're locked out of our own sense of fulfillment. However, what if I told you that loneliness isn't an enemy? What if it could be a friend, offering you a precious gift, the gift of time to reconnect with yourself? To understand how loneliness can transform into something positive, let's first draw a distinction between 2 states: loneliness and solitude. While loneliness brings with it the longing for someone else to fill our emotional cup, solitude is the art of filling that cup on our own. In Buddhist practice, solitude is cherished as a time for deep reflection and inner growth. Instead of waiting for external sources of happiness, those who practice solitude focus on cultivating happiness from within. The Buddha often spoke about the importance of solitude, particularly for monks on the path to enlightenment. He taught that being alone isn't inherently negative. In fact, solitude can help you discover deeper truths about yourself and the world around you. When you aren't distracted by external relationships or societal pressures, you have the space to explore your mind, meditate, and develop wisdom. Let's explore an example from the life of Buddha himself. Before achieving enlightenment, the Buddha, then known as the Bodhisattva, practiced extreme forms of self-discipline and meditation. For 6 long years, he pursued rigorous physical hardships, believing that these efforts would lead him to enlightenment. During this time, he was accompanied by 5 disciples, who admired his dedication. But when the Buddha realized that extreme self-mortification wasn't the path to enlightenment, he decided to nourish his body, breaking his fast and eating food to regain physical strength. His disciples, disillusioned by this change, abandoned him, convinced he had forsaken the path to enlightenment. Alone in the jungle, without the support of his followers, the Buddha could have easily felt lonely, despondent, and lost. But instead, he embraced this solitude. Rather than feeling abandoned, the Buddha saw this period of being alone as an opportunity. With no distractions, he could focus fully on his meditation. It was in this moment of solitude, freed from the expectations of others, that the Buddha found the clarity he needed to attain enlightenment. Most of us aren't striving for enlightenment like the Buddha, but his story offers a powerful lesson. When we are alone, we have a unique opportunity to focus on self-development. Instead of feeling abandoned or helpless, we can turn inward and ask ourselves what we need to grow. When you are lonely, ask yourself, how can I use this time to better myself? Can I develop a new habit? Cultivate a new skill? Meditate? Read books that inspire me? Exercise? In these moments, solitude becomes a gift. It offers you the time and space to reflect on your own life, desires, and goals. This is the heart of Buddhist teachings. Learning to find peace and happiness within yourself, regardless of external circumstances. One of the most transformative practices you can engage in during moments of loneliness is meditation. Meditation allows you to go inward, confront your feelings of loneliness, and understand them. Through regular practice, you can develop a sense of peace that isn't dependent on others. In solitude, your mind has the opportunity to quiet down. You're no longer bombarded with distractions, conversations, or the expectations of others. Instead, you can listen to your own inner wisdom. Through meditation, you begin to realize that happiness isn't something you seek from others. It's something you cultivate within yourself. Let me share a personal example. A few years ago, I went through a phase of deep loneliness. After the end of a long relationship, I found myself feeling empty and lost. The house felt too quiet. The friends I once relied on seemed distant. In that silence, the loneliness was overwhelming. But rather than wallow in self-pity, I decided to use that time to focus on myself. I began practicing meditation daily, going on long walks and reflecting on what I wanted from life. In that solitude, I discovered strengths I never knew I had. It was during this time that I made some of the most important decisions of my life. Decisions that wouldn't have been possible if I had remained distracted by social engagements or relationships. Practical steps to turn loneliness into solitude. If you find yourself feeling lonely, here are some practical steps to transform that feeling into productive solitude. Meditate daily. Start with just 10 minutes a day. Focus on your breath, observe your thoughts, and let them pass without judgment. Engage in self-care. Use this time to nourish your body and mind, whether it's through exercise, healthy eating, or simply taking care of your mental health. Self-care is essential. Create a routine. Establishing a daily routine can give you a sense of purpose. This could include hobbies, creative projects, or personal goals. Reflect on your goals. Use solitude to think deeply about what you want to achieve in life. Write down your goals and create a plan to work toward them. In the end, loneliness doesn't have to be a source of pain. Instead, it can be the very thing that leads you to greater self-awareness, wisdom, and inner peace. By embracing solitude, you gain the freedom to grow into the person you are meant to be, without relying on others to make you happy. Remember, solitude isn't about isolation. It's about reconnecting with yourself, finding joy in your own company, and discovering that everything you need is already within you. So, the next time you feel lonely, remember, this is your opportunity. Use it wisely, embrace it fully, and in doing so, you will transform your life in ways you never thought possible. Lesson to take away. Loneliness may feel like a burden, but it can be transformed into a powerful tool for self-growth. Through solitude, you find your true self and realize that happiness comes from within, not from others.